in the process, and this is something that's really important to me, I'm working to improve the quality of just the information we collect. Now, some of this stuff isn't very sexy to you all. I'm going to admit it's not very interesting, but it's absolutely critical. We know for a fact that in our database, as it existed 3 or 4 months ago even, about 20% of just the basic address data was incorrect. When we've sent out notices, a lot of things come back because we don't have updated, correct information on file. Oftentimes we have a person's living situation misidentified. Things like that have a just have an awful impact if you're sitting and you're trying to make good management decisions. But even beyond that, we had a situation where that I heard about from a parent at last year's Family Cafe, where a person was in supported living. The person had significant disabilities, needed a lot of assistance, but was successfully in a supported living situation nonetheless. And we literally lost that person. We sent first response when a hurricane came through. Let me back up. The Hurricane Charlie came through, and we literally sent first responders to the wrong place. So that any of you that think that this is just some kind of, some numbers guy, some green eye shade types compliance, it doesn't mean anything. I want you to take that example to heart. And think about it if you all were, what if you went to your doctor's office and you had some really serious issue and you had to go see a specialist, and you realized that there was a 1 in 5 chance that the information your primary care physician sent to that specialist was inaccurate in some way, shape, or form. The fact is, the people we serve are important enough. They're just as important as I am. And they deserve just as much as I do that things are professional when you're an organization, that it is our profession, it is our job to serve the people that we are charged with serving. And I want you to receive professional service consistently, day in and day out. It's a mantra of mine that I've told people in every area office I've spoken to. I've said we're going to do the right things the right way every day, day after day, because that's what separates professionals from amateurs, and making sure that we have that we are maintaining and tracking accurate information so that we don't make bad decisions. This is more than just some accountant's thing. This is absolutely critical for us being the very best that we can be for you. So I want you to understand this absolutely has an impact on what we do. Other things we're doing for providers, I'm also I've been very much interested in reports from providers that we have a lot of overlapping, duplicative paperwork and other rules and regulations. I actually assembled a group of area office administrators who came up with a paperwork reduction plan. We have implemented parts of that, and we are going to continue with that. Again, the thought being here is that in an era where resources are so limited and where the needs are so great, we just can't afford to pursue regulations and rules that add cost without adding any considerable value. That's one other thing we're doing. Again, not interesting, not exciting, but it's those things that professional organizations do, and that people who care to see that the resources we do have go to where they're needed. Those are the things you do to improve the management of the agency. We're also revising the quality assurance process. You heard mentioned that Delmarva is our current vendor. We want to revise that process. That contract happens to be up for rebid. Delmarva is certainly, we would expect that they will be a competitor, but we're going to change the rules of that game a little bit to where those quality assurance reviews actually produce more practical and pragmatic information for our agency, so so that we're better able to make sure that we're protecting health, safety, and the quality of the services that you receive. Again, this is almost a unanimous consensus among our area administrators that the current quality assurance process does not work as well for them as it should. And we are listening more and more and more to our area administrators, people like Mr. Johnston, because they're the people who are out here working with you on a day in, day out basis. And they understand those things that they need to better serve you, and I'm listening to them. Some other things, we started a dental services pilot out of Tapachali. I know a lot of you understand that accessing dental care is a big issue, and particularly because a lot of the people we serve have special needs, sedation, even anesthesia in some instances. And a lot of healthcare professionals are uneasy or unwilling to accept individuals with developmental disabilities. We're making that service available right now to people in the community at our facility in Gainesville, Tapachali. We have the preliminary results of that. It's very encouraging. We're going to expand that both to the facility in Marianna and also the facility in Fort Myers. And between the three of them, we pretty much, those facilities are within about a 2.5 hour drive, one or the other, of just about anywhere in the state of Florida. So it will provide a stopgap access to that service. One other thing we're just now looking into in the area of dental care that is very exciting is that for the people we serve, it's not everyone, but for those we serve who are duly eligible for both Medicaid and Medicare, there is a dental benefit available to those individuals outside of our waiver. So for a lot of the people who are in Tier 4 that today cannot access dental care because that's not offered under Tier 4, at least some of those individuals should be able to avail themselves of that benefit, and we're going to make sure that we get that word out and that we're making the appropriate referrals there. Dental care, by the way, is a big, big issue for me. If you have a toothache, you ought to be able to go to the dentist. That's just fundamental to good health, in my opinion. Our assessment instrument, I know most of you probably have had some dealings with the QSI assessment. We have done all of the current waiver enrollees for all practical purposes. We are at like 99 point some odd %, and the people that, it's really, we are finished with that. These are people who are left over, people we can't find, people who are maybe in the hospital and you don't want to go and track these people down in a hospital or whatever, but we're finished with that, and we're starting to work on the waiting list. The other bit of exciting news here is that we engaged an outside independent consultant to do validation studies. It is a valid instrument. And it also, although we will, with these formal assessment instruments, you continue to, you never stop the validation process. These studies give you ideas for how you can improve either the questions, the sequence, how you deliver it, and how you administer the instrument. And we're going to be continuing to work on that. So there's no good housekeeping seal of validation with these types of things. It is an ongoing process, but we have something that we feel is useful.